on Salvage Hunter's classic cars.
Wow!
Paul begs Drew to replace a tatty piece of canvas.
Is this the original canvas that came out of the factory with?
Yeah.
We can't mess with this.
It'll look like a raggy tent on a beautiful body.
But then wishes he hadn't.
Oh, man, I don't like that.
You don't like it?
No.
You know nothing.
And a Japanese engineering marvel does nothing to bring them together.
Do you like it, though?
No.
Do you like it now?
No.
How about now?
No.
Do you like it now?
No.
Drew Pritchard is one of Britain's leading decorative salvage dealers.
Oh, look at that. Now you're talking.
And now he's ventured into the high-risk world of classic cars.
Oh, yes. We'll take it all. Just hand the keys over. The similarity between buying classic cars and antiques, it's all down to good design. That there, right? I love it because it's like... Oh, yes!
Helping Drew turn his passion into profit is Paul Cowland, a car dealer with 25 years of know-how.
As soon as you put perfect paint on this car, it's really going to show that you've got imperfect chrome. Drew has a vision and a dream.
Imagine this is a fine piece of 18th century English furniture, right?
What I try and do is just temper some of his ideas, because ultimately, this is a business and it has to make money.
Together, they'll scour the country for classic cars to buy,
3.5. 3.5?
restore,
That's beautiful.
and sell on.
I think we should put another grand on it, because I think it'll get it easy.
At the Oxfordshire HQ, every shape and size of car comes through the workshop, from the classic to the oddball.
What a beautiful little car. It's gorgeous. I can't take my eyes off it.
Today, Drew's had a call about a car that might be both a well-loved British favourite with an unusual twist. And he and Paul are heading for the Cotswolds.
We're off to see quite a surprising little car, actually, something you probably wouldn't expect.
Go on.
It's a Mini pickup.
Pickup?
Mm.
OK. How many days are left? Can't be many
There
left.
can't be many left.
Born in 1959 from the need for a compact, economical car, the groundbreaking Mini was a miracle of ingenious packaging, which quickly achieved celebrity status and became a 60s icon. And with its removable canvas tilt and flat-loading bed, the spin-off pickup version was a hit with everyone from gardeners to greengrocers. But with only 60,000 produced, in recent years, it's become a rare sight.
You will not believe how much a Mini pickup will go for. £20,000.
Yeah.
£20,000.
I know, I can believe it.
This guy wants around £10,000, and it needs work.
It's a seller's market, though, with these, isn't it?
It's
really?
crazy.
It's not like you've got loads to choose from. What year is this one?
It's a late one. It's 1980.
They built them in 61, I think, is when they came out. But they never changed them. So you get the external hinges, you get the sliding windows, you get the beautiful tiny rear tail light.
Yeah.
And that never changed all the way to 1980. This, to me, is the ultimate practical classic.
That's it.
What?
Antique dealing Mini pickup.
There you go.
Can we put antique dealers down the side?
Drew Pritchard,
Yes.
purveyor
Get
of
in.
finest tat.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
Dan Griffiths bought his Mini pickup in 2013, mainly so he could take a drive down memory lane.
Actually, the first car I drove on the road was a Mini pickup, and this one came up, and it was a good opportunity to get back on the road in one. It's quite a useful vehicle. You know, sold a sofa to someone, it wouldn't fit in the estate car, but it fit in the back of the Mini pickup, so it's a very handy little car to have.
Dan?
It is, yeah.
Hello, I'm Paul.
Hi, Paul. Nice to meet you.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi,
Drew.
Dan.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Drew.
Right
That's
then.
a very intriguing barn.
Should we have a look inside?
Yeah. Ooh. Whoa.
Yes.
Hey, look at that. That looks tidy.
She's done just under 34,000 miles from new.
No.
The previous owner put new wings on it. It's got the original front panel. It's had new outer sills, and that's about it. Otherwise, it's original bodywork.
Doors open, bosh, there we have it, the little white Mini pickup. Done 34,000, he has paperwork from day one to prove that, which is gold dust. I think we're on to a winner here. Years since I've seen one of these.
Yeah.
They're just so cool, aren't they?
We're so used to seeing Minis in our everyday life. It was such a simple idea, and then you could turn it into these very utilitarian cars.
Got a big dent in the near side rear quarter. Huge dent, actually.
So basic. That's the real charm of it.
Let's have a look at the subframe.
Love the poverty spec interior. commercial vehicles have those subtle differences. They're extremely Spartan inside. They take out any stuff you don't need, and they're rare things to find. Just by their very nature, they got beaten up. That's why it's unusual. This thing is highly unusual.
But while Drew has eyes for its utilitarian charms, Paul spotted signs that this 1980 car hasn't aged so well.
There's a lot of dents in the body, I have to say. It's going to need a full hit, you know. Split the skin on the tailgate's just starting to go. From 10 yards back, this car looks good, but as I'm walking towards it, unfortunately, I'm seeing dents, I'm seeing filler, I'm seeing evidence of poor paintwork. So the alarm bells are starting to ring.
But if alarm bells are ringing, it seems Drew can't hear them.
I'm loving the tilt with the old repairs, though. I'm liking that. That's good.
It's just starting to split the skin at the bottom. Yeah, it's just starting to go, look. See on the bottom of the door frame? I think when you start digging, I think there's going to be a lot in there.
I like it. I really like it.
The Mini is an interesting one because a long time ago, when this vehicle wasn't worth an awful lot of money, somebody has repaired it cheaply. There's filler, there's bad paintwork, and I need to put this right. Now, I'm pointing this out to Drew, that the car has a multitude of problems. He's just not listening.
I see 5 to 6 grand immediately before we even start playing and doing the fun stuff.
Really? That much?
We need to fully paint. Yeah, we do, honestly. I think it is going to be a 20 grand car, but I think you can spend probably at least 6 or 7 to get it there.
But Drew's had an idea for an upgrade for this practical classic that could open up a potentially lucrative market and solve Paul's money worries.
The classic car racing scene, right? I know, okay? I'm involved with it. It's a wonderful place to be. And a lot of the mini racers, particularly one, I've seen him at Goodwood. He's got his beautifully restored race car, which he drives like until the wheels come off it. You know what his pit car is? Mini Moke with the screen down, buzzing around with the spares in the back. How cool is that? And that will go to one of those guys. I just know it will. Let's aim it at those guys. Let's aim it at the classic car racing community.
The UK's heritage racing scene is hugely popular, with events drawing 150,000 enthusiasts to the trackside at circuits like Goodwood. Race car owners are supported with period pit cars, also known as paddock cars, carrying tools and kit for swift repairs.
It'll make the vehicle something completely different. It will cost a bit, maybe not too much, but it will allow me to sell to a completely different market. So for once, a sensible idea from Drew Pritchard.
Is this the original canvas that came out of the factory with?
I believe it was, yeah.
That's the original tilt. It's, what, 39 years old now, that. And it's bar 2 period, nice repairs on it. It's original, so that's going to be kept no matter what. Got to leave it alone.
We don't know if you've restored the vehicle, though, because then you're going to have a stitched and...
No, that's nice. That's nice, that's good. A little bit of authenticity, and that's good.
It's never going to be an original car, because it hasn't got factory panels, and this would be at least the 3rd repaint it's had. I do like his originality thing. Drew's thing, isn't it? Whether it's furniture, cars, he likes to keep them original, and I do respect that, and I do get it. But for certain cars where you've got no chance of ever making this car original again, that boat sailed about 10 years ago. If it was original paint, original body, 100%, but it's not. So I think we're going to have an argument about this. I think it'll look like a ragged tent on a beautiful body.
You've definitely got the paperwork to back up that mileage.
Yeah, all the previous
100%.
MOTs. Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
We can't mess with this.
Let's take it for a drive and see what you think after that.
All right, let's jump in.
Right. What an engine. See you back in a bit.
See you in a bit.
They didn't put much sound deadening in, did they, in the commercial vehicle?
I don't think there's any sound deadening
I don't
in here.
think there's any sound deadening.
One of many cost-saving measures in the BMC British Leyland pickup.
But you can hear the absolutely beautiful gearbox.
Well, I can tell from here it drives all right.
I think it'll go into the classic car, race car community. As pit car, just for taking your petrol and your tyres around those pits.
I think because of that, you've got to make it look a little bit exciting. Do a full canvas tilt, it would look amazing.
No, we're just ruining what we've got.
The tilt is still a bone of contention, but there is one thing Drew and Paul can agree on.
We've got to buy this. It's really, really lovely.
But with Dan asking £10,000 for the car, the boys are keen to negotiate.
We enjoyed that, Dan.
Yeah?
Not least of all because Drew could actually reach the pedal.
It's great. It just needs to come apart completely.
Yeah.
And that's the downside, really. We do have to strip the whole thing.
I'd be really happy at 9,000.
Is there any room for a bit of negotiation, a bit closer to my asking price?
In In the Cotswolds, Drew and Paul are sizing up a miniature British classic that needs a major amount of work.
This car needs to come apart completely.
It does.
And be redone again.
It really does.
And Drew needs to get owner Dan down from his £10,000 asking price.
I'd be really happy at 9,000.
Is there any room for a bit of negotiation, a bit closer to my asking price?
I think, being fair, if we got to go 9.5, it's gone. We're happy, you're happy, you can get on with your life.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think we'll go for that. Yeah.
Brilliant.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you very much, Dan. Now, these cars are now worth in immaculate condition 20, 21, 22, and more. But the work on the car has to reflect that price point now. How do I get that tilt, that canvas on the back to look as good as I want it to, and keep him happy? Got to find a way.
So, with the car back at the workshop, Paul's quick to canvass the opinion of head mechanic Michael.
I mean, that is tatered. Look, that's gone.
It's very shrunken and, I mean, look at it, won't go anywhere near there.
Look, if I just do that, look, everything's tearing, so it's going to have so many repairs in if we do make this go again. It's going to look awful. Now, I know Drew values every scrap of originality on a car, but that's what we're talking about here. This is scrap. It's beyond gone, really. And this car's going to be really nice.
It's virtually unrepairable, isn't it?
It's hanging, mate. It's properly hanging.
You can't repair that.
Shame.
With the thumbs down from Michael, Drew's agreed to at least meet a team of experts for their opinion. The Mini has been sent to Birmingham, to Compton's 2000, a family-run business owned by Rhys Hennessy and his father, Steve.
We've been manufacturing for the British Army and the industry for about 70 years now. We specialise in making canvas covers to original patterns and with authentic materials.
Hello. How you doing?
You all right, Drew?
Drew.
Nice to meet you.
How are you? Right, so you got this little thing here.
Yeah, just having a look at it now. We've got quite a few gashes in here.
So we're not fixing this, are we, no?
No, there's no way I can fix this one for
No
you.
way? Even if we just put a piece in?
No, it'd be a complete new one, I think.
All right. So a complete replacement? Mm-hmm. All right.
With the final no from the experts, it's the end of the road for Drew's precious original. But when Rhys shows him how a replacement could look, Drew begins to warm to Paul's idea that a new tilt is the way forward.
That's perfect. That's way better. That looks much nicer than what's on it.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to look fantastic, isn't it?
And with other cars around for inspiration, Drew's embracing the opportunity for creativity and decides to go for something more daring than a simple replacement.
I love that Union Jack on the back of that.
All right, yeah.
That's wicked.
I can put that on the rear curtain
Can you?
for you if you want, yeah.
Oh, now. I'd love to do that. I think it looks brilliant. Yes. Yes. I mean, that's not usually my bag, but God, it works so well.
The existing tilt has a clear vinyl window, but Rhys is keen to show Drew a more traditional alternative.
What's that?
Oh, this is brass gauze, and they didn't have vinyl. They went with the tight brass gauze on for the windows. You'd think it wasn't that very good, but it's really
brilliant.
good to see out of, yeah.
And that's brass.
Yeah, it's brass gauze, yeah.
Could you put that in that?
Yeah.
I'm having that as well.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. What's it going to cost?
£450.
All in?
All in, £450.
Sold?
Yeah.
That's a fantastic price.
Cheers, Drew.
I thought I was going to be in the thick end of 1,500. Or maybe 1,000, but 450 quid? Brilliant. They can make me a tent while we're at it.
With decades of experience on a vast range of tilts, Dad Steve has delved into company archives and come out with a result. Rare templates for a mini pickup from a previous restoration.
Well, I found the old patterns that I used
Good.
from years ago. We always keep these because you never know when you want one.
Having confirmed the pattern is correct for Drew's 1980 car, the next stage is to start marking up the fabric.
So you have to transfer all the patterns onto the canvas, and the only way to do this is with a spike and mallet. So what you do, you get it in line, and you just give it a simple bop. Everywhere where lines intersect, you have to put a bop marker either.
Once the canvas has been cut to size, Rhys can turn his attention to the rear curtain with its Union Jack design.
I need to transfer this flag onto here.
The flag is glued onto the canvas and trimmed to size before being stitched in place. But before the tilt can be finished and fitted, the Mini needs to be painted. So at the workshop, there's an important decision to make.
This is the 1964 colour chart for BMC.
Right.
Probably remember it the first time round. So you just need to pick a colour, really. And I think this is very much a Drew Pritchard question.
Picking the colour on a car or for a colour change, it's sort of quite a responsibility, really, because if it looks wrong and it doesn't sell, it's my fault. If I was going to be safe, and it's still going to work, Glen Green. Very commercial, really suits the Mini shape. We decided we're going down this way of sort of a sports utility vehicle. I know what I want from the tilt as well. So I'm very, very happy now with that colour.
The Mini's exactly the type of grand creative restoration that Drew loves. But with costs mounting up, Paul spotted a car that could bring in some easy cash. The only problem will be convincing Drew.
Found a car today that is one of my all-time favourites, and there's rare, there's super rare, and then there's this.
Really?
Yeah. And I know you're going to love it because it's 90s in Japanese.
You know I'm going to hate it.
I don't think you will, because dynamically this car is epic. It's a Honda CRX SI.
Launched in the early 80s, the CRX quickly became one of Japan's most successful car exports. But the Sport Injection Racing, or SIR version, was produced only for a 2-year period and exclusively for the Japanese market.
This is the Japanese market one with the 16-valve VTEC engine, 160 horses. It's iconic sports classic. It's about £8 grand.
£8,000?
Yeah, I think that's a bargain. Minted up, I've seen them go for 11, 12. They are just so rare, so cool. Whatever you think about the engineering, I think you're going to fall in love with the drive. So
No, listen now, Japanese cars are brilliantly engineered.
Yeah.
I love the way they drive. It's just they're made out of plastic that used to, I don't know, store eggs or something in. It's rubbish.
But that makes it light. That means it's going to be
makes it
super
cheap and
performant.
nasty.
Inexpensive and affordable, I think you'll find it's what it is.
Nick Higgins is from Berkshire and has a passion for fast cars like his modified BMW. He's selling the Honda for a friend who bought it at auction and is looking for a quick sale.
I've been into cars all my life, been a rally marshal with my dad since I was about 6. The CRX is a great car, great engine, the VTEC is something special. Nice clean car, nice to drive as well.
Hello, mate.
Hey.
How you doing?
Hi, nice to meet you. Nick, Paul, nice to meet you, buddy.
Nice to meet you, mate. Yeah. But let's have a look at the Honda. Oh, look at it. Where's the Buy It Now button? Oh, I like it already. I really like it.
Door goes up and I'm just blanketed in disappointment. Japanese culture gave us some of the most beautiful things in the whole world. So how can a nation that can create the greatest art in some respects there's ever been turn that out?
The car is so nice. This is the badge you want. Look, the SI is cool, but the SIR is that little bit cooler. For whatever reason, Japanese manufacturers always spec'd up their own domestic products better than any other market. Like the glass roof on this car, you could only get that in Japan. This is the Holy Grail, this is the unicorn, this is the SIR, and the R is so important because it's the one the British market didn't get.
The styling, well, it's just a disaster, isn't it? Doesn't make any sense. I'll just chop that back bit off. That'll do. Oh, should we put a bit of window in there? Oh, yeah, that'll do. It doesn't quite fit. Don't worry about it.
This is one of the top 20 great engines of all time, look.
It's clean.
It's so clean, isn't it? The reason that everyone goes mad for this particular car, the SIR, the Gen 2, is because of that engine. It's Japanese market only. Only they got the 160 horsepower engine. This is a flying rocket ship.
Drew may not yet be on board, but for Paul, the only question now is whether the car is too perfect.
There's not a lot you can do to this to add value. That's the only thing I don't like about this car. I can't see where we go with it. What are we going to do? It's too nice. Here, I think we can improve this. The disc itself and the caliper are all corroded, and you can see that through the wheel. With this car, I'm looking for that 1 or 2% just to make it amazing. I think the brake calipers, if we can refurbish those, it will just make the car look unbelievable. And that's how we're going to get into 5 figures with it.
But his best laid plans will come to nothing unless Paul can convince Drew there's more to this car than its looks.
Well, I think it's great. Do you mind if we take it for a spin, mate?
Yeah, sure. Keys in ignition.
Listen to this, though. Listen to the sound of power. 160 horses. Like a little Swiss watch, isn't it?
I just hope nobody sees me.
I've accepted already Drew will never love the look of this car. The thing I know he'll just be enamoured with is how they drive.
Do you like it, though?
No.
Do you like it now?
No.
How about now?
No.
Do you like it now?
No.
Do you like it yet?
No.
God, I love it
It's
already.
about as exciting as having a tooth extracted.
This is why you buy this car. Just hang on to the gear.
Wow! What? That is spectacular.
Isn't it?
Drew decides he needs to have a go behind the wheel after all.
Do you like it now? Do you like it now?
It's epic. As a fun thing on four wheels, it's brilliant. But how are you going to make any money out of it? What are you going to do to it?
Well, A, his price is very good. If you can get it for 7 something, just literally surgical valet on it, make everything perfect, detail the brakes. I think that's where you add the value. You don't see that many SIRs for sale. These cars can make 11 and a half grand asking price.
I like the drive.
There you go. It's enough for me.
I like the drive.
Come on, let's go and get it bought.
It's just fun. That is four-wheeled fun right there. Amazing. What a technical achievement.
The only question now is whether the boys can get a price which will allow them to make a profit through detailing alone.
What do you think?
That is fantastic.
It does drive particularly well. It really does. It's hard to fault, isn't it? What are you asking for this thing, then?
8.
7?
Can't go that low.
In Berkshire, Paul's won Drew over to a Japanese sporty classic.
This is why you buy this car. Just hang on to the gear.
Wow! What?
But with little to do on the car to make a profit, the boys will need to get it for less than the asking price.
What are you asking for this thing, then?
8.
7?
Can't go that low.
7.5? With a deal?
Go on in.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Thank you very much. Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
I don't even need to ask who's driving at home. I'm driving at home.
It's all yours.
Yeah.
You can go to a whisk drive on your way back.
Shut up.
We bought the car for 7.5, which I think is bang on the money. I think I can make it the nicest one in the world for £1,000, so 8.5 grand. I think it will go for 11 grand, I really do. And I think it will make its money.
Having got the CRX past Drew, Paul's wasting no time in getting it checked over in the workshop. And first on the agenda is to get the brake calipers removed in preparation for their upgrade.
Calipers can make or break a car. If you do sort that tiniest of details out, it just makes the whole wheel arch, the whole wheel pop. And I know a great guy in Notts called Richard Munt, who is just a legend. The way he finishes calipers, up to and including supercar standard, is exactly what we need for this project.
Brake caliper specialists in Long Eaton have been using cutting-edge technology for nearly a decade to refine the art of bringing up brakes.
We do deal with some pretty epic cars. We've done calipers for Porsche, Ferrari, Noble. We can do some really crazy colours on calipers and get excited about how glossy and rich the colours are. They are only your brakes, but they are the most important bit of kit on your car.
Oh, Rich.
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Oh, that's a shirt, that, isn't it?
Yes, I know. I did it for you, mate.
These are off a Minter, like Honda CRX,
Yep.
which is as close to Concours as cars I've ever bought, but the brakes aren't. What do you reckon?
They're in reasonable condition, but yeah, they don't look great, do they?
No.
So we do our what we call cast smoothing.
Yeah.
So we get rid of all of that casting line and the bobbliness.
Yeah.
So that's all going to be lovely and proper glossy, like a car bonnet.
I don't know what colour to do them, but I keep seeing hints of gold. There, look, can you see the colour it was?
That is showing the original finish, really, and that is gold passivate. But we can match that with our high-end paint.
They're not just making these calipers look pretty, they're totally remanufacturing them. So the pistons come out, the seals come out, they're all renewed if they need to be. So not only will my calipers look better, they'll work like they did when they were brand new. Yeah, and on a quick car, you want good brakes. Well, I think something like that would look pretty magic.
Yeah, you're going to be sort of 750, something like
Cool.
that, thereabouts.
Yeah. It's not cheap, but it's good value.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul.
All right, mate.
No worries.
See you in a few weeks.
Take care.
The first job is to carefully dismantle the calipers, checking every part for wear and tear.
We're going to be doing a full remanufacture on these calipers, which involves taking out all pistons, all seals, any rubber parts, anything like that, to be changed.
If there are any impurities on the component surface, the paint won't adhere, so the cleaning process is meticulous. First with high-pressure water, then with a blast of sand, and finally with high-frequency sound waves, which remove every trace of corrosion. The rough caliper housing is then ground and primed in a process known as cast smoothing. Only then can painting begin.
So now that we've got primer and colour on, we will then clear coat to add it an extra layer of protection, and then that will add its gloss and it'll be amazing.
The picked car makeover for the Mini pickup is still firing Drew's imagination, and he's now on a mission to take it to the next level.
I'm off to see a very good friend of mine, Stuart Imber. He is one of the most preeminent automobilia collectors in the UK, if not Europe. And what I want are period accessories, things that will give the little Mini pickup a feeling of being used on a race circuit.
Stuart Imber has spent almost 40 years amassing a remarkable collection of automobilia that fills 3 huge barns on his rural property.
I've got an armchair that I sit on sometimes. I put some old music on, old illuminated signs on, and just sit here with a glass of wine and just think, how lucky am I? This just grew. It just grew and grew and grew. And now, if somebody's interested, then I'm happy to sell on, as long as it makes somebody happy. That's all I'm interested in.
I love coming in here. Let me run you through what I need today. Right, we've bought this Mini pickup truck, right? What we thought would be a bit of a pit crew thing. And what we need to do is put in its fuel cans, cones, oil fillers. See, look, all of this is so cool.
Yep.
That's exactly it, right? How much is that?
That would be 65 quid.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Marvellous, yeah, we'll have that. That's perfect. So what sort of money are these ones then? The more sort of
The cash
plainer
would be
ones?
30 quid.
Yeah.
And they would be like 15 quid and 20 quid.
I think we'll have those two.
Cool.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd need one, a nice big one though.
Well,
that's the daddy. That
there,
one,
you've
that
got,
one there.
That's a Dunlop Major.
That's the baby. Look at that.
Is 30 quid all right?
30 quid is fine. We just want things that will create a feel with the pickup truck. So it'll just be a little bit more fun. That's perfect.
About 120 quid. I know.
That's perfect because we're looking at a paddock or pit crew vehicle.
Yeah.
How much you say? 80 quid?
I said 120 quid.
100 pounds.
120. Did I say 100?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it then.
Sold. Done
Okay,
it.
done.
Perfect.
There you go.
Perfect. Avon tyres, paddock. Bang on. This has been around racing cars its whole life, and we're going to hang that off the tailgate of the Mini. Perfect. Thank you very
buddy.
much.
My pleasure.
Marvellous.
Absolute pleasure.
You get it in the back of the
Can't
car?
wait to see, looking at it, yeah. Oh, have I got to carry it as well?
Yes, please.
Oh,
Yeah.
OK.
We've spent a few £100s. We've gone over our budget a bit, to be honest. But it's going to look the part. It looks right, and I'm very happy.
With Drew's pit car purchases destined for transportation in the pickup, the boys have agreed on a plan to make sure the Mini can accommodate them in style.
A paddock vehicle actually needs to be able to carry stuff, you know, like wheels and tyres and jacks and fuel and all that kind of thing. I need something that will hold it safe and look good. So I'm going to go and see a guy today who I think can build me that racking and actually make it look like part of the design. Now, it's not going to be cheap, but I do think if we do it properly, the back of this pickup will be the defining feature of this vehicle. I think it will be the thing that will sell it.
Paul's had the Mini sent to welder and fabricator Andy Cater, who specialises in bespoke metalwork and has a garage full of exotic custom builds.
I've done stuff from boats, aircraft, furniture,
big conference tables, various things, and then obviously all the automotive work as well. Every job I do is different, and that's how I like it. If you can't buy it off the shelf, I'll make it.
All right, Andy.
Hello, mate.
Good to see you.
And you?
Good to see this arrive safe and sound.
Yeah.
But I'm slightly distracted. Mate, oh, look at this. I always think you can judge your car by the company that it keeps, and as you walk into Andy's workshop, there's a beautiful period Dodge van. Next to that, there's this fabulous Chevy pickup. This is Andy's bread and butter, but the work is just phenomenal. Can we have a look inside, can we?
Can, yeah.
Isn't that awesome? It's got the Formica doors, the shag pile carpet. So what have you done to this one then, mate?
Exhaust system, side exit pipes, there's some electronic valves so you can bypass the silencers.
Go straight through.
Yeah, we can do
fire it up, mate. Go on, fire it up. Come on, mate, give it a rev. That sounds amazing.
The Mini may not have a thunderous V8, but to get top money, Paul wants it to make an equally powerful statement.
So what we're thinking here, mate, what our vision is, imagine it's the 1960s, 1970s, you're running a little Procore race team and you've got a support vehicle, and this is that support vehicle.
Yep.
And it's got a cool pull-out rack on which we're going to put wheels and tyres, period oil cans, petrol cans.
Yep.
And if that can slide out on some kind of like ball-bearing rail...
Yep, so you can use the top as a sort of workbench.
Yeah, exactly, so the whole thing just comes out.
Maybe some drawers or a cupboard.
Really like that.
Just for tool storage, just out of sight, and you can just slide it back in. And
yeah, taking a tiny space and packing every square inch of it. Even the little voids in the side of the pickup bed, they're going to be cupboard doors. No centimetre square will be wasted on this build. I've got to really cap this at about 2K, because if I spend any more than that on this conversion, it's not going to add it to the value of the vehicle. Could you do it for that, do you reckon?
We'd be around that. It depends on the material costs and quite how mad we go with it.
Yeah. We'll kind of go $2 grand mad.
Yeah.
We're going to create a 1960s look paddock support vehicle. I think that's a really saleable look, and it's a lot of fun, and I've never seen another one. And in this market, do something different. Mega.
Cool.
Over to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Andy begins by cutting and welding together a subframe based on Paul's design. He's chosen to work in aluminium, which is lighter than steel.
Just trying to keep it as lightweight as we can, because obviously the Mini's not a very big car, it's not a big engine.
To fit inside this frame, Andy builds a bespoke toolbox, which will be mounted on runners and pull out like a drawer.
There's just not a lot of space to work with, so you just make the most of the space you've got.
Welding aluminium requires experience and frequent pauses to prevent warping.
Aluminium's a very soft material. It pulls quite a bit, so we're just trying to keep the heat distortion down, weld little bits at a time and spread the heat.
Next, Andy installs the rails that will allow the racking to slide out.
This bit will be the toolbox. You'll have your storage in the sides for all the other smaller bits and pieces.
With the basic structure finalised, Andy now needs to tackle many metres of painstaking aluminium welding, while the Mini can head back to HQ for its all-important bodywork. In Oxfordshire, gleaming new calipers are being fitted to the Honda. Along with some gentle finessing, and the car is soon ready for Drew to take a look.
Hello.
Still here, is it?
It's still here. The world's nicest CRX SIR. You have to admit, for a car on a G-Reg, that is pristine. Drew's face as he walks in and Drew's reaction when he walks in is exactly what I was expecting. He was never going to love the car, but you can't argue with several facts. Number one, this car is faultless. Number two, from an engineering perspective, it's one of the best hot hatches ever made.
Yeah, I mean, it's mint, isn't it? Looks like it's just coming out the showroom.
The calipers, understated, subtle, the whole thing just looks like off the factory floor. The best thing about this, a great example of buying them right, 7.5 for the car, we've only spent 800 quid prepping it. So 8,300 quid for a car that I think will easily fetch 11 grand.
Well, it is. The condition is minty fresh, isn't it?
It really is. And that's just good maths, isn't it?
Yeah.
And workshop time, hours, basically. In terms of money, and that's kind of why we're here, this car represents a very small amount of time for a massive profit. I think that car will sell and sell immediately because it's faultless. This is the bread and butter Because we need to have a few of these, because this is
Yeah,
what,
yeah.
a week in the workshop it's taken?
Yeah.
In and out the door, bit of cash. What's all about?
Well, all I have to say is I just don't get it. Paul is saying, you know, obviously we're going to make some really good money, and this is going to allow you to do the passion projects, you know, the ones that take months, if not over a year, to complete a car. He can be flipping these ones in the background. Great, you know, £3 profit potential on that. Happy days. Can I stop looking at it now?
Yes.
Lovely.
Drew and Paul have got their hands on a rare mini pickup, which they're giving a new identity as a pit car in the heritage racing scene. The bodywork is now fully corrosion-free, and the car's getting a coat of Glen Green, the original mini colour Drew's chosen to give it a utility feel. At the Oxfordshire workshop, fixtures and fittings can go back on, and the new pit car begins to emerge. And just a few days later, Drew's collected the finished car and arranged to meet Paul, who's yet to see the Union Jack design.
I think we've got this one 100% right. I'm fairly sure Paul's going to like everything. He hasn't seen the tilt, but you can't really knock the craftsmanship of it. I personally love it, and I think it's one of the best cars we've restored in a very long time.
That looks so cool! Mate, how good does that look?
Oh.
Wow!
Cool, huh?
I think he smashed it. The colour, the hood colour, the wheels, everything even better than I thought. And this is stunning, isn't it? And the quality, the way it fits at the bottom, that's much nicer than it was. I did say the tilt would be better if we swapped it, and I feel quite justified. And I think that's just raised the whole quality of the build.
But Paul hasn't got to the back of the car yet.
Look at this, look.
What have you done?
I like it.
However, there is a snag. Have you spotted it? Mate, that's awful.
No, it's
That's
not.
awful.
No, it's not. It's lovely. It goes with the theme. We have a minor difference of opinion on the Union Jack on the back of the tilt, but I know the market, and I'm fairly sure that's going to help it along.
It looks like they've done a beautiful job of this, and then they ran out of fabric and they found an old flag.
That's
They've just
exactly what it
stitched
is. It is an old flag.
Oh, man, I don't like that.
You don't like it?
No.
Oh, Ace, that means I've got it right.
I mean, Drew is convinced he is right on this, but then you have to remember a broken clock is right twice a day. To me, that would have been so much cooler as a cheeky reveal as you flipped it up. Much more subtle. It's like having a beautifully tailored suit and then putting the liner on the back.
You know nothing. If I put flames down the side and a body kit and the lights under it and all, he'd love all that. But no, we've gone classy and stylish and quintessentially British. And what is more British than a Mini? Look at that.
Yeah, this is the bit that I did. Oh, look at that. See, isn't that brilliant? Then in there you've got all your stuff, all your wheels.
And look, all your bits of tack down the side there.
All ready to go.
The pull-out tool chest at the back is just beautifully done and works. It makes so much of such a tiny space. It is bang on.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that, eh?
All tailored for the can as well. Right, so we gave 9.5 for it. Currently it owes you, amazing, I think it's quite good, 16 grand. 6.5 grand's gone into that. But I think that's going to make 19,995, 20 grand, do you think? Yeah. Maybe a bit more.
Yeah.
And Drew already has a plan for getting this transformed car directly to its potential market.
We're near Chelsea Walsh,
We
right?
are.
So I think we're going to go, there's a race meeting on.
Yeah.
And I think we take it up there and talk to the race dudes,
Yeah.
and they will say whether they like it or not.
I think that's a good idea. We'll never agree on the flag, but, you know, it doesn't spoil a great build, does it? So I'm going to drive it, and we're going to take it to see some people. Love it.
Isn't it great? It just drives so well.
Ridiculously well.
Just certain cars have a magic to them, and Minis just do.
Yeah. Come to Shelsley Walsh today, and the lineup of cars is right up my street. Some cool Alphas, there's Triumph Stag, Hillman Imp, which is perfectly stanced. I'm in love.
Did you buy it like this?
Kind of, yeah. So it was a race car in the mid-80s, and then it was put in a barn for about 30 years.
Oh, you ain't coming out there.
I can't reach, actually can't reach the pedals. This is the world now we're tapping into. These guys, this shared passion from a 23-year-old lad with a £3,000 car to a nearly six-figure Lotus Cortina. And there's no difference between any of them.
This is beautiful. It's a good one, isn't it? They were built to go motor racing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all they were built for.
And they were good at it too.
That's right.
70, 80 grand car now, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
If you see that car next to the Lotus Cortina, it could be at Alton Park in a race meeting with the spares for the Lotus. It fits. Is this a Lennon?
It's an Ashley.
Ashley.
Yeah.
The Union Jack is a good choice, isn't it?
It is a good choice.
It works on this car.
Do you like the Union Jack on the back?
I do like the Union
Thank
Jack.
you very
Yes,
much.
yeah. I guess there's a bit of friction here.
Would you like to buy it?
No, thank you.
There you see.
These are the people that are going to be talking about it. They're going to go home tonight. They're going to be on forums. They're going to be chatting to their mates. That's how you get it out. And one guy will go, I have to have that. Who likes the Union Jack on the back? Hands up.
Yeah, we'll go with Union Jack.
We win.
No, I don't think we do.
We win.
Hands up if you don't like the Union Jack on the
George Cross would be better.
Yeah, two of you. We won. There you go. The Union Jack tailgate. Everybody here, bar two people, put their hands up that they liked it. I thank you.
Oh,
Gets better, gets better.
Gets better.
We spent a few quid. That all pulls out, look. Put your lunch on there. Got all your knick-knacks, tools.
For the boys, the response of this discriminating crowd is confirmation that the pickup will soon find a good home.
Everybody loves this truck. Everyone admires the engineering of that aluminium pull-out, loves the paint. The engine was always a peach. Whatever you think of the flag, it's mega, isn't it?
And it looks like Paul may have a chance to even the score. Shortly after putting it on sale, there's been an expression of interest in the Honda CRX from specialist dealer Carlos Quiroz.
Myself and my business partner run a rental business in Japan. We love Japanese cars. We rent classic Japanese and European cars, so wherever we find them, it can be anywhere in the world, and you have to just go for it. So we're really looking forward to getting on and seeing the car now.
Carlos!
Oh, hi, Paul.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Wow,
Lovely
look
to
at
see
this.
you. I know, isn't it lovely?
This is immaculate.
This is a chap at the top of his game who knows everything about these cars. There's no point me telling him what's special about it. He already knows.
It's so original. This is exactly what we're looking for.
It's totally unmolested, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let me show you as well. So the boot and the bonnet, I'll pull them both for you.
What a little treasure, eh?
It is, isn't it?
It just looks all factory.
Yeah, well, I think that's what people want in this market, isn't it? No messing.
This is what this car's all about.
I think it's fair to say Carlos likes our car. He's making all those right noises, but then, you know, he knows this market better than I do. And I know this is one of the best cars I've ever seen. It's going to be very hard to pick this car apart. Yeah, so we've got it up at 10,995, which I think for what it is and the condition and the mileage and the bits and pieces, I think is pretty fair. So my slightly academic question to you, Carlos, is would you like to buy it?
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Okay, mate.
Yeah, that's worth it every day of the week in Japan.
Right, paperwork there, mate. Paperwork and another cup of tea.
Thank you. Our customers always looking for something unique to rent, and that is a unique car. It's incredible, yeah. It's better than what I thought I was going to see, so I'm really happy now.
Drew has never been a fan of this car, has he? I think that's the understatement of the year, but even Drew will like the fact for 2 days' work it's made the thick end of £3,000. And whatever you think of the looks, gotta love the profit.